shall we get into the game?
Oh yeah. New game?
Yes.
Alright.
Also, screen share for this. Because I'm going to have to follow your screen.
Alright.
Yes. Wait.
Okay, I'm here.
I was having that dream once again. That dream. Same thing every night. But it's all forgotten in the morning as usual. Maybe it's for the best. Only a glimpse of memory will remain of gates half opened, as if inviting me somewhere with two frozen stone pioneer statues standing close by. Also, that strange girl who keeps asking, "Will you come with me?" Come? But where? And why? And where am I anyway? Of course, if it all happened in real life, I would certainly have been scared. Well, what else would one expect to feel? But this is just a dream. The same one I see every night. There must be a reason. You don't have to know where or why to realize something is really happening. Something desperately seeking my attention. Since everything that surrounds me here is real. As real as the things in my own flat. I could open the gates, hear the hinges creak, brush the crumbling rust away with my hand, inhale the fresh, cool air and shiver from the cold. I could, but to do that, I would need to pick myself up. Take a step, move my hand. But this is a dream. I understand that, but what of it? What does my understanding change? Because here is just like any other side of the cracked screen of an old TV which struggles to fight against the static noise and strives to show its audience everything without missing a single detail. But the picture is getting blurry. I must be waking up soon. Maybe I should ask her something. The girl? What's her name? About the stars, for instance. Why the stars, though? I'd rather ask about the gates. Yes, the gates. She would be so surprised. Or better, why the dot over an I is called a title, but the dot over a J is called a superscript dot. Nice letters. As if they don't exist anymore. Still, what do letters gates and stars have to do with this place? Because even when I'm having this dream every night, which I will be forgotten soon anyway, I've got to look for answers here and now. And there, if you look carefully, you can see the Magellanic Cloud. As if I'd ended up in the southern hemisphere. In a dream, there are small things that catch your attention. An unnatural colour of grass, impossible curves of straight lines, or your own distorted reflection. While the real danger could put an end to everything right here and right now seems trivial. It's natural, since here you cannot die. I know it for sure. I've done it hundreds of times. But if you cannot die, is there a point in living? Should I ask the girl? She's a local, she should know. Yes, exactly. I should ask her about the owl, for example. One strange bird it is. Though it doesn't matter. Will you come with me? And every time I have to answer, it's the only way, otherwise the dream will never end and I will never wake up. I don't think this actually matters.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
this
say
doesn't-
yes. Is that fine with
Yeah.
you? Alright.
Yeah. Every time it's so hard to decide on the answer. Where am I? What am I doing here? Who is she? And why does so much of my life depend on this answer? Or maybe it doesn't. It's just a dream after all. Just a dream. And now we watch as he wakes up in front of his PC
4chan.
with Lazy Town.
Yes. It's a little too close to home there.
The computer screen stared at me as if it was alive. Sometimes it really did seem to me that it was conscious of itself. It had its own thoughts and wishes, ambitions, that it had its feelings, could love and suffer. As if our relationship, the screen, was an instrument. It was me who was lifeless piece of plastic and textile. There is some truth in that, probably because the computer provides 90% of my communication with the outside world. 2020.
2020 indeed.
2020.
Maybe 2021 for folks worse off.
Yeah. Anonymous image boards, some chats from time to time. Rarely ICQ or Jabber, and forums even more rarely. That was 2chan, by the way.
Yeah.
Absolute. People on the other end of the cable simply do not exist.
Oh, how wrong they are.
All of them are simply creations of its sick imagination, an error in the source code or a kernel bug which started living a life of its own. If one looked at my existence from the outside, such thoughts would seem crazy. And psychologists would surely give me a bunch of sophisticated diagnosis and maybe write me a doctor's referral to the loony bin.
It's not so bad.
When you have to go to the asylum, also you'll see just the absolute lovely sights of this that this game actually fucking has in a minute. A
I'm
small
excited.
apartment with no signs of repair or semblance of order in it. Always the same view out of the window, the grey megalopolis running somewhere day and night. Such are conditions of my life. Oh, it's one of these ones again. I just want to see the site. Well, of course, it didn't all start like this. I was born, went to school, finished it like all the others. I was accepted at university where I spent a year and a half trailing behind and struggling. I drifted through several jobs. Sometimes I was working out well. Sometimes I would even get decent money for it. But it all felt like it wasn't mine, as if it was taken from another man's biography. I wasn't living life to its fullest. It was looping over and over in monotonous circles. Like in the movie Groundhog Day. Good film.
Very.
It's just that I had no choice in how to spend my day, and every day repeated itself. The same vicious spiral. A spiral of emptiness, misery, and despair. For the last few years, I just sat in front of a screen all day. Sometimes there were menial jobs. Sometimes my parents helped me. All in all, I was able to provide for myself. No wonder, really, since my needs were quite minor. I hardly ever leave my home, and communication with other people almost exclusively consists of online correspondence with the anonymous who have no real name, no gender, no age. So in brief, a quite typical life of a quite typical antisocial person of his time. Kind of Donnie Darko on a minor scale, without doomsday-related visions.
Another iconic film.
Yep. Maybe some highly respected author will write a novel about me, and will become a contemporary classic of modern literature.
Little on the nose there.
I will write one myself. However, what's the point of fooling myself? I tried many times, but couldn't even come up with a simple short story. I tried to learn many other things as well. Not gifted enough to draw. Programming got bored. Foreign languages takes too much time. The only thing I loved doing was reading. But I still would never call myself a scholar. Perhaps I was ace at watching anime and grandmaster of lame internet jokes. If I were to get paid for it, I would probably be a happier person and a richer person too. But I doubt it would fill the hole inside me. There we go.
Ah, that's beautiful. Yes.
Some of the shots from this fucking game are brill.
Ah.
Today was another typical day of a typical failur's typical life. And today is the day when I had to go to my university reunion. Frankly speaking, I didn't really want to. What's the point? The time I spent there with them was so short. However, I was persuaded by a friend, my former university mate, and one of the few whom I kept in touch with other than the internet. A frosty evening. Bus stop. Waiting. I never liked winter. Though hot summer was not my season either. It's just that I see no reason to point out any particular time of year. It doesn't matter much what weather is outside when you just stay home 24/7. The bus today was running so late that I was about to curse it and spend my last few hundred rubles for the taxi. The idea of returning home didn't cross my mind for some reason. As usual, millions of thoughts flew through my mind, but there was not a single useful one to seize on. It's like you with art sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah.
All the fucking thoughts, and yet none of them are good.
Yeah.
Such a thought that you could bring into essence, give a shape, turn into an idea, put into practice. Maybe I could start my own business. But where would I get the money from? Or maybe go back to working in an office? No way. Maybe I should try freelancing. But what skills do I have? And who would want me after all? Suddenly, I remember my childhood. Or rather, my teen years. The time when I was 15 to 17 years old. Though, why those years exactly? No idea. I guess it's because back then, everything was much more simple. It was easier to make decisions, so complicated now, so simple then. Waking up in the morning, I knew exactly how my day was going to pass, and I always eagerly looked forward to the weekend. Then I could get some rest and have time for things I liked: computer, football, going out with friends. At the beginning of next week, I'd take up my studies again. Back then, there were no such worrying questions like, why? Who needs it? What will change if I do it? What will not change? A simple lifestyle, so casual for any normal person, and so odd for myself today. The careless childhood age. It was also then I met my first love. Her appearance and personality have vanished from my memory. Only her name remains, like a brief line from a social network profile, along with the feelings which overwhelmed me when I was with her. Affection, tenderness, the desire to care and protect her. Sadly, it didn't take long. Today I can hardly imagine something like that happening. I would probably like to meet a girl, but I didn't know how to start a conversation, what on earth to discuss, and how to attract her. Well, I haven't met any suitable girls for a long time. But where could I meet one anyway? Russian summer camp?
Yep.
The sound of an engine brought me back to reality. A bus pulled over. There was something abnormal about it, though. Then again, it doesn't matter. Only the 410 runs this route. Okay, I fucking love the art direction this
I
game has.
know.
So it takes me back. And that right there. Streetlights pass me by, as if their cold lights spark inside me, trying to ignite feelings long dead. Or maybe not just ignite, just awaken them. Those feelings, they've been living in me for a long time, slumbering, waking up again. The driver's radio was playing some very familiar tune, but I wasn't listening to it. And if you're listening closely, there is actually the tune in the background.
Yeah, I can hear it. I can hear it, yeah.
And I was watching the cars pass by through fogged up window. Because people are always rushing somewhere, chasing something they need, stuck in their own little world. Why would they care about mine? Probably. They probably have their own serious problems. Or maybe they have much easier lives. You can't know for sure. Because all people are different. Or are they? Sometimes someone's actions can easily be predicted. But if you try to look inside his soul, you'll only see impenetrable darkness. The bus was approaching downtown. My thoughts were interrupted by bright city lights. Hundreds of billboards, thousands of cars, millions of people. I watched the light show and somehow got terribly sleepy. My eyes closed for a moment, and then... Now for the intro. An absolute banger of an intro too.
I know. The production quality of this thing is high. Shit.
The song is absolutely fucking brilliant as well.
And when was this made?
I'll have to look up afterwards.
Because it's not showing its age at all. Like, at all. It still looks really slick. Pedo bear. I'm sorry, but that's funny.
Miku.
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 They just named her like that to avoid copyright.
No, that's actually Miku in Russian.
Oh,
Yeah.
so they actually got away with it.
Yes.
Damn. The balls on those people.
Day 1. You know how it was winter?
Yeah?
It's now middle of summer.
Going from one extreme to another.
Yeah. Bright daylight struck my eyes. At first I didn't pay attention, but as I wasn't fully awake yet. On their own, my legs carried me towards the door. Damn, looks like I fell asleep and missed my stop. But there was no door. I looked around the bus, realized it wasn't a good old worn-out Liaz. Instead, the bus was an Icarus model, a new one. I froze in shock. How? What? Am I dead? Have I been kidnapped? No, I must be dead. I patted myself down feverishly, slapped myself painfully in the face a few times, banged my forehead on the back of one of the bus seats. Good way to get a concussion.
Yep.
It's clear either I'm still alive or you can still feel pain when you're dead. But how could this happen? Maybe I slept for too long. Ended up at the bus depot. And then what? Did they put me on another bus? I rushed out and looked around. The greenery, wherever I looked, tall grass, on the roadside, trees, flowers. Summer? But how? It was winter just a moment ago. My head was aching unbearably. As if I was going to explode. Slowly, I began to remember. A long road, running off in the distance. Forests, plains, fields, lakes, and forests again. I think I was sleeping, but then how can I remember all of it? And then a gap. Some girl leaning over me. And she softly whispered something into my ear. Then a gap again. Then I woke up here. Who was that strange girl? Or was she just a dream? For some reason, thinking about her made me feel better and calmed me down a little. I felt warmth all over, coming from the inside. Could it be her who brought me here? Then I need to find her. And the best place to look is away from here. I rushed to the left, to the right, then stopped, hesitating where to go. Finally, I ran in the direction which the bus had probably came. Physical exercise does refresh one's mind, though thoughts becoming clearer and it getting a little easier to evaluate the surrounding reality.
That's how I've coped with things.
Walk. Not in my case, however. I was sitting on the roadside, wheezing and trying to ease my sore throat, gulping breaths of hot air. In any case, the run did its job. The fear withdrew for a while. Maybe I really am just dreaming. Though recalling my self-harm on the bus, I immediately rejected the idea. I am neither dreaming nor dead. The narrow road ran through the field into the distance. The exact same road from my dream. I must be very far from home. And it's not that it was winter yesterday and it's summer now. It's the whole environment. Of course, summer is usually like this, green, hot. But here, everything is not entirely lifelike. Everything looks like it was taken from paintings of Russian landscape artists of the 19th century.
That's where they probably referenced.
And the grass is just too lush. The bushes are not like what bushes should be. They are so thick you can see anything through them, like treetops, honestly. And the trees themselves. The forest is quite far away, but the trees looked as if they had closed their ranks and were now just waiting for the order to advance into the fields and plains. I caught my breath and looked to the bus, which was now barely visible. That was a good run. Fear overtook me again. Those power lines. There must be people here. But what does it mean? In fact, that means nothing at all. Couldn't they have power lines even in hell? They could. They could.
Yeah, definitely.
Roasting sinners over hot coals is so last century. Oh god, I forgot some of the jokes in this. Are horrific. Internet times. I must have reached a point of no return, after which you should either lose your mind completely, or finally try to understand what is going on. And while I still have a choice, I should pick the second option. Smart.
Yes, very smart.
I slowly headed back to the bus. Of course, it was scary. Who finds buses scary, apart from people?
I know.
Apart from people who don't like public transport.
Buses are like the least threatening transportation.
Depends who you are. My mum despises buses if she's on her own.
I find railways and subways more scarier than the average bus.
I love trains more than buses, personally.
Yeah. Well,
trains are brilliant.
Like the railroad trains I'd be okay with. Subways I find low-key scary, but that's just because I went to New York, and you know how New York is.
Yeah.
Buses, I used a bus for like my last year of uni, so it was like, oh,
Can't you also hail a taxi anywhere in New York?
Oh yeah, but my parents never really did that because like my brothers and I were like little kids, so it was just better to use the subway.
Now let's get back to this.
Yeah.
But I'm not likely to find an answer in the fields or the woods, and this wretched bucket of bolts is the only kind of link I have with the real world. The number 410.
With those faded gates.
Oh, this has the aesthetic of an old Russian summer camp.
Yep.
I should carefully scout the area. Sovonyok means outlet. Okay.
Okay.
A brick wall, and its gates crowned with a Sovonyok sign. Statues of pioneers standing either side, and a road sign nearby showing the bus route, number 410. The trip's taking a bit too long today. I smirked. A person may start acting inappropriately in extreme situations. Something like that is probably happening to me now. You're going insane. This place did not look abandoned at all. No rust on the gates. No damage to the walls.
Wow, that's kind of unusual.
Sovonyok. What could have a name like that? Judging by the pioneer statues, it could possibly be a kid's summer camp. Moreover, it appears to be open. Of course, the simplest explanation, logically speaking, explains nothing at all. The strange girl altered the bus. Summer, the pioneer camp. Thousands of theories went through my mind instantly. From alien abduction, to lethargic sleep. From hallucination to a time and space shift. You might have watched a bit too much Star Trek.
Yep. Or too much sci-fi in general.
Yeah, alien abduction, boys. Time to get abducted.
Yep.
None was worse than the other. But there was really no way to pick a single one.
Get in the UFO, boys.
Get in the UFO! Then it occurred to me, I can try to make a phone call. I took out my cell phone and dialed the first number on my contact list. But instead of signal bars, the screen was showing a thick cross.
Uh-oh.
All right. There may be no signal in such a remote place. How do they have power then?
Yeah.
Though I cannot be the only one who came here. Buses don't drive themselves.
Not yet.
Well, just wait till Tesla make a fucking self-driving bus.
Oh boy, that's gonna be fun.
Yep, welcome to the new Tesla self-driving bus. It can take you everywhere.
Yeah. All you have to do is just pay the ticket.
Yep. I examined the bus from all sides to make sure this wasn't a hallucination. He is well and truly going insane at this point.
Yep. He's
Bits
losing
of
it.
dirt on the bottom, some rust, and here and there, faded paint and worn-out tires. No, this is definitely an ordinary Icarus. Yeah, the exact kind of bus which takes you to places beyond your understanding. If you carelessly fall asleep, you're reading too much into this.
You're overthinking it.
I gave a nervous chuckle. It came out by itself sporadically. Because this wasn't the right place or time to laugh. But where on earth is the driver? Cigarette break. Cigarette break.
The typical.
My patience didn't last long. My anxiety seemed to have reached its peak, and I started to go slightly mad. In such a situation, anyone would probably have felt something similar.
Uh-oh.
Aliens and parallel universes were gone from my imagination, leaving only void and darkness.
Oh boy.
Is this how everything will end? How my life will end? But I wanted to do so much. There were so many things that I had that I had no time for yet. But I was overwhelmed by the idea. This was definitely the end. But why? It's not fair. Surely I'm no worse than anyone else. God, why? Okay. Tears were burning my eyes unbearably. I curled and started rolling in the grass. Why? What did I do? Why me? But my cries were only heard by speechless statues out of the pioneers and a bird on a tree, which immediately flapped its wings and took off, crying out something in its own bird language, as if laughing at the idiot who dared interrupt its after-dinner nap. I was left breathless from weeping, and just lay quietly, stopping occasionally. After a while, I managed to pull myself together. My mind cleared up, as if the terror and the fear of death gave me a little break. All in all, if someone wanted to kill me, what is this for? It doesn't look like an experiment either. If this is just some crazy coincidence, then there's probably no threat. Anyways, now, Anyways, for now, it seems that there's no danger. The panic was soon gone. Of course, the blood was still pounding in my temples and my hands were shaking, but at least I could think clearly now. Right now, there is nothing I can really change anyway. So no matter what I think or how mad I get, I would only make things worse. Until some actual facts appear, there is no point in making guesses. In any case, I won't learn anything by lounging around here. This camp, if of course it really was a camp, looked like the only place where people could be, so I decided to go there. And hardly had I reached the gates when a girl came from behind them, wearing a pioneer uniform. My logic didn't let me down this time. Although she does seem to have an incredible tan.
Yeah. Which is weird in Russia.
Then again, a pioneer uniform in the 21st century. And then again, a girl here. I froze, unable to take a step. I felt very much like running away. Far from this place. Far from the bus, gate, statue, and far from this bloody bird with its siesta. Just running free like the wind, faster and faster, waving the plant passing by, winking at the galaxies. Running, becoming a pulsar ray and turning into vestigial radiation, running to face the unknown. Run no matter what, where, as long as it's far away from this place. Meanwhile, the girl came closer and smiled. Serial killer?
Creep?
I could not help but notice her beauty, even though I was trembling with fear. Human instincts work independently of consciousness. And while only 5% of the brain is responsible for cognitive processes, the remaining 95% are always busy sustaining life. And in this particular, ensuring stable function of hormonal system. Too much science.
Yes.
Just talk to the girl.
I know.
I desperately wanted to get less complicated and stop thinking in formal quotes from encyclopedia, though my thoughts appeared one by one, being stupid out of place as if taken from an internal monologue of a hero of some junky, softcore crime fiction book. A pretty Slavic face, long braids that looked 2 armfuls of fresh hair, and blue eyes you could drown in.
Hi, you must have just arrived.
Reply. Yeah.
All right then. Welcome.
She smiled broadly. Strange. It looked as if I just had a normal girl in front of me. Stop overthinking things.
Just sit. Just talk.
Talk to female.
Yes.
But I shouldn't have returned here. The woods and the fields seemed better.
Jeez. It's not that scary.
But what shall I do next? Try to speak with her as if he was a human or run away or what? Oh, this man.
Bruh.
The blood pumping unbearably in my head, tearing it apart from the inside a little bit more, and poor, the pioneer girl, would be splattered with gruesome contents of my skull.
What's so funny about that?
The girl looked me over. It sent shivers down my spine, and my knees started to tremble. Scared of women.
It's not hard.
Nothing?
Great then.
Great. What's so great about that? Suddenly, a thought crossed my mind. To hell with it. All forget about the bus behind me. The fact that it was winter yesterday and summer today, I wanted to rip off my itchy sweater and just accept that this is actually happening. Everything is as it should be. All is for the best. Would you happen to know?
You should go to our camp leader. She'll tell you everything. Look. You go straight ahead to the square, then turn left. You'll see several small cabins.
She pointed at the gates, as if I knew what was behind them.
Well, you can ask someone where Olga Dmitrievna's cabin is.
Derivative of a person's father's name, in this case, Dmitrievi, put a Russian's after first name, sign of respect of formal address. Oh.
Okay. Got it?
Of course I didn't.
Well, I've got to go now.
The girl waved her hand at me and disappeared through the gates. It seemed as if to her I was something. You ask because you are something. Ordinary. Yeah, you are something ordinary.
Yes, and so is she.
And all this shown back with the bus and travels while awake or asleep were troubling only to me, while everything here is just the way it is supposed to be. That's because it is.
Yes.
Camp leader, pioneer uniform. What are they doing? A historical reenactment here? I hope I won't find Lenin standing atop an armored car in the square.
I mean, it's past the 50s, so they probably de-Leninized everything. So, that's what I hear.
But even then, that would not surprise me right now. Even standing alone for a while, I headed to camp. A mere 50 meters ahead, a small one-story house popped up on the left side. The sign on the door said clubs. I was about to come closer when the door suddenly opened and a short girl wearing a pioneer uniform came out. Her pretty face gave me the impression of one suffering from a fate of all mankind with a truly universal sorrow. As soon as she saw me, the girl froze as if frightened. He's now scaring the girls.
Oh, how the tables have turned.
How the turntables.
Yep.
I froze too, considering what was best to do. Approach first, or wait until she showed some initiative. Or maybe run away from the door. Course. Although this was the last option, but was considering being suggested only by my self-preservation instincts. At least that's what I'd like to believe.
Hopefully.
Not the worst human instinct by far, but from the most logical. If this instinct played poker against deductive abilities, the outcome would be predetermined. Please stop speaking in fucking poetry.
Just think simply.
It's almost as bad as fucking Zero from Borderlands. fucking I speak in haiku.
I know that he was cool, but come on, man.
Speak in haiku.
Come on, Zero. You
And
could.
those deductibilities, or at least the semblance, were hinting to me that there was no need to be afraid of this girl.
They're right.
Someone jumped out of the nearby bushes. A girl wearing a bright red t-shirt with USSR written on it. Such a perfect reproduction of the age. She looked quite short from the distance. Was probably younger than both pioneer girls, the one at the gate and this girl at the door of the club. At last, I decided to come closer, but the USSR, as I called her in mind, jumped forward in front of the first girl and started telling her something while wildly waving her arms. The other girl, in turn, seemed to be confused, lowered her gaze, remaining silent. I would have probably continued to observe the amusing dialogue, but the USSR, Jesus fucking Christ, is nicknamed the girl the USSR.
Wow. Just wow. Damn.
Suddenly pulled something out of her pocket and started waving it in front of the first girl's face.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely perfect.
That's beautiful.
This something turned out to be a grasshopper.
Beautiful.
Absolutely beautiful, and the other girl is scared shitless. You didn't squeal that. You didn't do the E.
Yeah, I did it.
The first girl squealed. You must not have been too keen on insects. What makes you think that? As she instantly rushed towards the place where Lenin presumably made his speech about the workers and peasants' revolution. That is to say, towards the square. The USSR glanced at me playfully and dashed after her. Not a bad start to the day. He's chasing after children now. What is this?
It went
I have
from.
absolutely no clue where I am. Besides that, there are some kids here role-playing as pioneers. He thinks.
He went from one place to another in the most bizarre of ways.
And as far as I can tell, this place is located thousands of kilometers away from my home. It might even be a different reality. And this was indeed a reality. I mean, everything around me seems so real. If a little embellished, that I started to think, in fact, my previous life could have been just a dream. And what am I supposed to do now? I was picking up the cracked paving stones with my shoe and staring aimlessly at the club building. Just a few more seconds before I have to come up with some decision. That's when I recalled myself rolling in the grass weeping. Why would you recall that of all the things of today?
Dude, there are better things to recall.
I cringed in disgust. Perhaps it's another instinct, where all energy for whimpering and self-pitying is used up. The body either goes into hibernation or mobilizes its reserves. Mine seems to have chosen the second option because out of the blue, I found determination to figure out what was going on. In order to do that, I had to act like a man, like a human, and maintain dignity of representative of my own world. Cabins. I followed the path to the left on the right side, which stood small cabins, apparently the homes of the local pioneers. They actually look quite cozy from the outside.
They actually look kind of good now, come to think of it.
I wouldn't actually mind sleeping in one of these cabins
yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Even though I was born in the Soviet Union, I'd never been part of its children's organizations, neither the pioneers nor the Younger October children. I imagined the daily life of a typical pioneer camp a bit differently. Huge barracks, long rows of metal bunks, wake-up call at 6 o'clock, played by siren 1 minute, to make your bed, then joining the formation at the drill square. Or wait. Could I be confusing it with something else? Suddenly, something struck me on the back. I staggered but remained on my feet, turned around, prepared to fight heroically for my life. All I found was another girl standing before me. My mouth hung open in surprise.
Pick up your jaw off the ground.
I closed my mouth. The same pioneer uniform, but the way she was wearing it, it looked, let's say, provocative. Like all the girls I'd met before, this one was rather cute, but her overly arrogant expression killed any desire to get to know her better.
New here, are you?
Dots.
Fine. See ya.
She threw a threatening glance at me and walked past. Is that a threat?
Is it?
Is it a threat or a promise?
Could be both.
I waited for the pioneer girl to turn the corner. Who knows what else she might have been up to? The most interesting thing was, even in this hostile girl seemed completely normal to me, she did not give off the feeling of some deadly danger. If she's hostile, she gives off the feeling of danger, though.
Yeah.
Except maybe the danger of getting punched in the nose. What did you say about not having a statue of Lenin?
I hope the guy's not Lenin.
Some form of person.
Yeah.
At last I managed to make it to the square. There was no Lenin in armoured car, although one could easily expect something like that after all this happened. However, a monument to a certain comrade towered in the middle of the square. The letters on the pedestal read Agenda. Must be some big figure in the party. There were some small benches at the sides. It's quite pleasant here. Where did the girl tell me to go? To the left or to the right? To the left? To the right?
To the left.
To the right? To where exactly? We will figure out. And why am I going there anyway? He's forgotten about it. He's forgotten about it.
Yeah.
Ah, right. I've decided to pretend to be normal. Go to the right. She said left. Through a small grove. I came out to a pier.
Damn.
I must have taken a wrong turn. Yeah.
How do you mess up that much? Hey, wrong way.
I turned towards the voice.
That first girl stood before me. Now what did I tell you? Take a left at the square, wasn't it?
She had changed from a pioneer uniform into a bikini.
That's a little early. Oh, I still haven't introduced myself. My name is Slavia. Actually, my full name is Slaviana, but everyone calls me Slavia.
Slaviana.
Slaviana, okay. That's not a Russian name I ever see, so you can too.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt a bit confused, so I could not come up with more meaningful answers. I wonder why.
And what's your name?
It felt like she could see right through me. Yeah, Semyon.
Nice to meet you, Semyon. Alright, I'm almost done here. Could you wait here a minute? I'm going to change and then we'll go to Olga Dmitrievna together. Agree?
Agreed. After this exchange, we ran off. I sat at the pier and let my feet hang in the water. I was wearing heavy winter boots, but in such weather, there was nothing wrong with getting my feet wet. Furthermore, it let me cool myself a little. Looking at the river, I was brainstorming and processing everything that had happened. If this is some kind of conspiracy, it's a weird one, even too friendly at times. No, it really looks more like a random event. Some entirely incomprehensible random event.
Shall we go?
Slavia was standing beside me, dressed in a pioneer uniform again. Let's go. Da baby. I've been here for a very short time, but all the people I've met, she looks the least suspicious.
Yep.
She doesn't look so. However, this fact is already suspicious itself. Oh. We walked to the square. The USSR girl and the girl who had hit me on the back were there, chasing each other. Is that some kind of game they're playing?
Uliana, enough running. I'll tell everything to Olga Dmitrievna. Aye, aye, Captain.
I've decided not to question Slavia for a while about what's going on, or the local residents. Better meet with this mysterious Olga Dmitrievna first. She sounds like the boss here. We walked past the rows of almost identical cabins, some of which looked like fat beer barrels, while others looked like household sheds. Finally, Slavia stopped in front of a smallish one-story cabin. Of all the times I've played this, I didn't realise how fucking horrifically the bike stands out.
I know. Maybe too much. Too much black.
That bike stands out. It seemed as if the ramshackled hut was drowning in a storm of purple silk and lilacs. But like some element of force, they were inexorably destroying the troop leader's house.
What are you standing for? Standing around for? Let's go.
Slavia snapped me out of my daydream.
And stop teasing Lena already. Rena?
Rena. Sounds like there's someone inside. Indeed, a moment later the door swung open and Uriana ran out and dashed past with the same mischievous grin. Her hair literally fucking looks like hair.
I know.
The pigtail girl came out next.
Don't let it bother you, Lena.
So her name is Lena. Gotta be thankful it's not Rena, at least.
But I don't.
Instead of finishing her sentence, she blushed and quickly headed towards the square. For some reason, I felt like turning and following her with my eyes, but Slavia said,
Come.
"Come, yes." Insert that music that's used in the memes.
Or one of them ear rape effects. Yeah.
Inside, it looked familiar to what I'd imagined: 3 beds, a table, couple of chairs, simple carpet on the floor, wardrobe. Also, look to the left.
Yeah?
Look at that picture.
Gee, they have like pretty interesting taste in pictures.
I think this is modern art.
Yeah.
Of the time.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing special, but at the same time, it felt like cozy. Although this room was almost the same state of disorder as my own flat. The girl standing near the window appeared to be about 25 years old. Nature had obviously gifted her with a pretty face and good body. At least one thing can keep you happy in the pandemonium. The locals are beautiful.
You're finally here. Excellent. My name is Olga Dmitrievna. I'm the camp leader.
Nice to meet you. I'm Semyon. I decided to talk as if I wasn't surprised by anything that was going on. It's how you should be.
Just go along for
Camp
the
Rocker.
ride. We've been expecting you since early morning.
You've been expecting me?
Yes, of course.
When does the next bus come? 'Cause
And why do you need it?
Why does he need the bus? Yeah, right, why would I need it? Guess I shouldn't ask the right questions. People here may react to them quite unlike how I'd prefer. And I doubt I'd get any answers. No reason, just curious. By the way, where are we exactly? Our mailing address, I mean. I wanted to send a letter to my parents to tell them I got here fine. For some reason I had the desperate idea if I played along I would find something out.
Oh, but your parents called just half an hour ago. They sent their regards to you.
Now that's a surprise. So, can I call them? Because I forgot to tell them something before I left. No.
No.
There's the answer of no.
Just a straight up no. Nothing comforting. Just no.
Really? No. She gave me a sweet, spontaneous smile. Why not? Good question.
We don't have a phone here.
Oh, Lord. We don't have a phone here, says the 1950s.
Yep.
Then how could my parents make a call to here?
I've just come back from the district central town. I talked with them there.
Ah, so that's how it is. And can I somehow get through the town?
No. Another straight no. Just
Another straight fuck off, no.
no, yeah.
He kept the same smile. Why not? You're treading the same ground.
Because the next bus only comes in a week.
Yo, nice bus time table you have there.
That's a shitty bus schedule.
I decided not to inquire how the troop leader managed to get there and back. I would get no answer anyway. All this time, Slavia was standing next to me, seemed to find nothing odd in our conversation.
Oh, we need to find a uniform for you.
I've absolutely no desire to put on pioneer shirt or wear the ridiculous red neckerchief. What are you, Fred from Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. Ah.
However, wearing winter clothes in summer isn't a great idea either. Yeah, smart man, you. Smart
Yeah.
man. Right, thank you.
You don't want to suffer in thick clothes.
I wonder if I'm the only one here who finds it strange someone wearing a coat and winter boots in such heat.
Rightio, I'll be off then, and you can get yourself acquainted with the camp. Don't forget to come to dinner in the evening.
Having said that, he walks out of the cabin. No, walked is not the right word. He rushed out. I ended up alone with Flavia.
I must go too. Got things to do. Take a walk. Look around the camp a bit. See you in the evening.
If there's no threat to catch this, then this reality embodied by Flavia becomes more and more appealing. For the first time today, I realised that it was awfully hot here.
Oh boy.
So obviously my winter clothes were to blame for that. I took off my coat and dropped to the bed. My pullover followed it. I was now wearing only the shirt. That's much better. All I could do now was follow the advice and go look around camp. I'll try and find something out in the meantime. Passing local resident district, I saw a pioneer guy coming my way.
Oh.
Yes, absolutely gorgeous looking man.
Damn.
And it really was a pioneer guy, not a pioneer girl. Apparently there were men even in this kingdom of Amazons. Hello there, you new here? You must be Semyon, right? And how do you... Everyone knows already. I'm Electronic. By the way, the real one. You can call me that. Electronic was a robot character appearing in popular Soviet film and the book series. He looked like an exact copy of a school kid called Sergei Tiskov. Electronic, the real one. Things are going from crazy to completely insane. Alright. Uliana also calls me Chezi. Chezi? On toast with mushrooms? Question mark. Because my last name is Chezikov. I see. Well, let me show you around. I accepted his offer, as it would have taken much longer to get to know this place alone. Fine, let's go. We ended up at the square again. As if this place was all there is to the camp. Lena was sitting on one of the benches reading some books. Electronic confidently approached her. Hello, Lena. Meet the new guy, Semyon. He started briskly. Hello. Well, you could say we've already met, in a way.
Yes.
He looked away from the book for a moment and glanced at me, blushed, went back to reading, as if not noticing that we were still here. Alright, let's go. On. I was at first surprised by meeting this girl, reduced to a couple words, but then I thought it was better that way. I was first surprised by the meeting this girl. Was reduced Electronic's vigorous activity did not fit well with Lena's shyness. Let's go. Next we came to a building which I instantly identified as a canteen. And this here? I know. This is where you come to consume organic food. Yeah, something like that. Oh Lord.
Uh-oh.
On the canteen's porch stood an unfriendly girl who hit me earlier. At the sight of her, my joking mood vanished in the blink of an eye. Really now, is not the best time to be pulling this guy's leg, even though he is quite hilarious. First, I need to figure out what's here, or at least where I am. Over here, that's Alisa Divachevska. Be careful around her. He spoke in a whisper. Don't ever risk calling her Devche. She doesn't like that. Devi, I mean, in two, exactly like 2th. Reference to the R2chan.
Oh.
Oh,
Oh, damn.
call her fucking 2chan.
Shit, man.
Oh.
Ooh, that's brutal. What did he say? What did you call me?
You must have heard him.
Uh-oh.
In the blink of an eye, Alyssa jumped down from the porch and dashed towards us. Alright, you manage from here onwards. The look on that man's face.
Wow.
Electronic heal. Do nothing.
So just do nothing? Well,
Got
let
into
it...
that on his own.
Okay.
Alyssa, running past, stopped for a moment and growled.
I'll deal with you later.
This is not okay.
Yeah.
Deal with me. What did I do wrong? I added a forced guilty smile to my words. Why though?
Why?
But what am I guilty of? She made no reply and carried on chasing the electronic. Silence. Oh, looks like I'll have to kill time alone waiting for dinner. I decided to go east. Where east would be in my world. What the this man?
Yeah.
This man. Soon after, I found myself near a football pitch. Yes, football. Yes.
Footy.
The game was in full swing here. I guess watching it for a bit wouldn't do any harm. In my childhood and teen years, I was not a bad player myself, even though going professional. But a few injuries in a row killed my desire to risk my health for the sake of uncertain chance in the game. Kids of different ages were running about the pitch. I could see a boy about 10, a girl of 14 years old. A girl. Hey, that's Uliana. Alright, so she plays football. What's so surprising? She seems a restless one after all. And I was standing quite far from the pitch, but she still noticed me.
Hey, you!
Uliana shouted.
Wanna play?
I didn't know how to answer. On one hand, running about for 10 minutes is no big deal. On the other hand, any wrong move in my situation could be a final loss. But in any case, my attire wasn't suitable for this weather. If I played in winter boots and warm jeans, I would sweat like a pig. And playing barefoot without jeans would simply be unethical. Maybe another time, alright? I shouted in response and turned around and walked back. I was followed by Uliana's screams about my pants or me being a pansy or something like that. Okay. The silence is here.
Mm-hmm.
Evening was falling, making me feel tired, empty, after a day wasted with no real purpose. How dare you say the summer camp has no real purpose?
Are you kidding me? It's a summer camp.
I came back to the square, sat down on a bench and gave an exhausted sigh. I'd better sit here and wait for dinner. It's easier to search for answers when you're hungry. No, when you're not hungry.
You're not you when you're hungry.
Have a Snickers. They do give food to people here, right? This man.
Yes.
This man.
Yes.
You know, it's curious how the simplest human needs can break the will to ponder on things, to strive for something. For example, I feel hungry now, so I care much less about where I am or what is happening to me. Could great people possibly be affected by this? In that case, how did Spartacus start a slave uprising in ancient times? I can only conclude that I am not a great person, and it did not really matter what mechanism I serve as a gear in society, the Matrix, or a weird pioneer camp. Another mention
Yep.
of fucking pop culture.
I know. They really like that shit, don't they?
My thoughts were interrupted by the sound of bells chiming from a loudspeaker on a light pole. It must be a dinner call. I headed towards the canteen. It was a good thing that now that I knew where it was. Olga was there, standing at the porch. I am not pronouncing the last name. I stopped and looked closer at her, as if I was expecting something. She looked back at me for a while, but at last came closer.
Semyon, what are you waiting for? Come in already.
I guess nothing bad can happen. I'll go with her. My stomach backed me up there. Car. The two of us went inside. I see someone with green hair.
I know.
Is that pink hair, blue hair, red hair? The canteen looked like this. The canteen looked like a canteen. A house smart. I had a chance to visit a factory canteen at some point in my life. This one was exactly the same, just maybe a bit cleaner and more modern. Metal chairs and table, glazed tiles on the walls and on the floor. Unsophisticated tableware with occasional crack. Guess that's what a canteen in a pioneer camp is supposed to look like.
Semyon, wait a moment. We'll find you a place to sit.
She looked around the place. Yeah. Trying to pronounce Russian last names.
The Vaseskaya. Hold it right there.
Olga shouted at Alyssa, who was passing by.
What? What's up with your clothes? Anything wrong with them?
Indeed, her attire looked somewhat provocative.
Get your uniform nice and neat right now. All right.
Alyssa got her shirt right and walked past,
Yeah.
shooting an unpleasant glare at me.
So, where can we find you a place to sit?
There weren't a lot of free seats. I can see that.
Yeah. Go over there, next to Ulyana.
Maybe I...
Yeah, it's fine. The food's already on the table, too.
I had no other choice but to accept. Yes, here we go. Let's learn something about Russian food.
Yeah.
In Russian language, cutlet, is a minced meat fried or baked in shape of a ball or cylinder, close to American patties. Compote is a drink made from boiled fresh or dried fruit in a large amount of water. Compote in French. Of course, there was probability of the cutlets that were poisoned with curry, the mashed potatoes generously seasoned with arsenic, and glass filled with excellent antifreeze instead of compote. But it all looked tasty. I had no chance to resist.
Hey!
What do you want? I replied rather rudely to Ulyana, who was sitting next to me.
Why didn't you play football with us?
Because of my clothes. I said, pointing at the source of the problem. Winter boots is the issue here.
Yeah, no. Oh, alright then. Eat.
However, there was a necessity. My cutlet was missing from the plate. Only she could have done it. More precisely, no one but Ulyana could have done it. Give me back my cutlet.
In a big family, you snooze, you lose. It can cost you a cutlet if you're careless.
Give it back, I'm telling you. Do not attempt to take the cutlet.
See? I don't have it.
And indeed, Uliana's plate was empty. It seemed this little girl eats as fast as she steals someone's cutlet.
Take it easy. We'll work something out now.
She grabbed my plate and ran off. There was no point following her. If they wanted to poison me here, they could have done it in a much easier way. About a minute later, Uliana returned, handing me a plate with a steaming hot cutlet on it.
Here's one for the starving.
Thanks. It was all I could say. I was so hungry my suspicions were gone in a flash. I picked up the cutlet with my fork and...
Ew!
Yo!
Ugh!
Buggy! That's buggy!
Ew!
What? That's some bug? No, not a bug. An insect. It got legs. It's wiggling. The plate fell to the floor, broke in pieces. The chair hit me hard on the leg while falling. I've disliked insects since I was a child. But when the creepy crawlies appear on my plate, that's way too much. You little... Uliana seemed to be ready for such a twist and already at the door laughing as if she had heard a fresh stand-up comedy joke. I dashed after her. We ran out of the canteen. We were just a few dozen meters apart. I felt I could catch this little girl easy. We ran through the square. Past the clubhouse. And ran onto the forest path. I started to gasp for breath. I should have quit smoking, I guess. Maybe you should have quit smoking.
Yeah.
Uliana passed out of sight on the next turn. It can't be true that she managed to get away from me. Yes, it can.
Yeah.
You're a smoker.
Yeah.
You're a smoker.
Versus like a 10-year-old girl.
It simply can't. Yes, he can.
Yeah.
I stopped and tried to catch my breath again. The night was falling. Looks like I'm lost. It's a bad idea to stay in the woods at night. Better get back to camp. However, I had absolutely no clue which way to go. Well, I gotta choose at random. I wandered for quite some time in the forest, and even the thought of crying, but I finally saw the camp's fence beyond the trees. Everything fell back into place. The bus is gone. Yeah, yes, the bus is gone. How productive you are. I mumbled quietly. On one hand, there was nothing strange about it. The bus couldn't just stay there forever. On the other hand, it meant there was someone driving because buses do not drive themselves. As you said earlier, just wait and see. Or do they? This world seemed too normal. But every event here had at least two explanations, right? An ordinary, real, everyday explanation, and a surreal one. Certainly, the driver could have just run off for a snack, and I left too soon, and that's why. In any case, that's not the place for me. Whether the bus drives itself or not was probably an important question, but it was much more important to know how I had gotten here at all. And where here was. The fields and woods stretching towards the horizon had no answers, and there was nothing familiar about them. A strange old alien and alien world. However, at the same time, it was absolutely not frightening. Either my self-preservation instinct decided to resign from its job, or all this running around camp, the local pioneers had lulled me so much that the carefree normality was simply forgetting what happened to me just a couple hours ago. Although I probably had no strength left to worry. All I wanted was to see some peace, calmness, and just wanted to have a break from it all. And only after that would I continue looking for answers, ready and reloaded. However, that would come sometime later. And what about now? Can I allow myself to relax? It got completely dark, and in any case, it was better to spend the night at the camp. I was about to head back when someone came up silently from behind.
Hello, what are you doing here so late?
It was Slavia, standing before me. I was so surprised that I jumped.
So you didn't catch Uliana, did you?
She smiled. I nodded disappointedly inside.
No wonder. No one ever has.
Yeah, she's a real rocket girl. She could have found a better use for her energy than looking for adventures.
You must be hungry. You didn't manage to have dinner after all.
Indeed, I had completely forgot about my hunger. But after these words of hers, my stomach drew attention to itself by giving a treacherous rumble. Slavia smiled.
Let's go then.
What, is the canteen still open?
It's all right. I have the keys.
She has the keys. The
Damn.
keys?
Yes, I have keys to all the facilities in this camp.
How come?
Well, I'm something like the camp leader's aide here.
She's second in command. She has all the keys.
Yep.
I see. Well, let's go. It was an offer you can't refuse. When we reached the square, Slavia stopped in her tracks. Excuse me.
I should
I
warn
should
my
warn you. My room.
roommate that I'll be late. She's so punctual herself that she'll be worried otherwise. You go on to
Oh,
the
yes, she's
canteen,
room.
and I'll come in a minute. All right?
All right. Her roommate is Mika.
Oh,
Her roommate's Mika, yeah.
wow.
I really did not expect somebody aid from myself. There's such an late hour. And somebody was apparently trying hopelessly to get to open the door. Without any secrets, I walked up to the porch. The lockpicker turned out to be Alyssa. I should have probably kept off and waited. She looked at me intently for a while, then said,
Don't just stand there. Give me a hand or something.
Meaning?
Help me open the door.
Why?
'Cause I want some buns and kefir. Dinner wasn't big enough.
Is that really a good idea?
Aren't you hungry yourself, huh? Ulyana didn't let you have a normal dinner, did she?
She smiled sarcastically. It's true she didn't. It's fine. Slavia will come now and...
What?
I guess I shouldn't have said that. Yay!
I'm off then. And you'll pay for this. You owe me 2 already.
Having said that, Alyssa disappeared into the night. And what was the first one? Slaviana didn't keep me waiting for too long.
Is everything alright?
Yeah, why are you asking?
No reason. It's nothing.
It would be better if I didn't tell her about Elisa. Everything's fine. I said that and immediately heard a note of dishonesty in my voice.
Well, shall we go?
As for Slavia, she seemed to not have noticed anything. Or at least she was pretending she hadn't. We entered the canteen.
Wait a bit. I'll go get something.
I sat down on a chair and obediently waited for my saviour. My dinner was simple. Few buns and a glass of kefir. No wonder I bet Hungry Pioneers finished everything off. However, even that was far better than most of my usual diet. Slavia sat across the table and looked at me while I was eating. Is there something on my face?
No, just...
She smiled.
So, how did you like your first day in the camp?
Well, I really don't know. It's silly to ask someone if they found themselves in a different reality, whether we like the food in the canteen, the camp leader, or his assigned hut.
It's alright. You'll soon get used to it.
Slavia stared out the window dreamily. Frankly speaking, I have no desire to get used to such things, but as for her, she doesn't know. Or at least she wants me to think she doesn't. Well, all in, it's nice here. All in all, it's nice here. I had to somehow break the awkward silence.
Do you think so?
She asked that. Any interest? Yeah, this place is so... I wanted to say retro, but I managed to hold that back. After all, it was retro for me, but what about them? It might be the only kind of life they know. In terms of life, it was applicable here at least.
How so how?
She watched me closely. As if something important depended on my answer. Well, I don't know. Lovely. Yeah, it's lovely here.
I guess you're right.
She smiled again.
It's very good that you think so.
Why?
Well, not everybody likes it here.
And what about you?
Me?
Yes.
I love it here. It's great.
Then you don't need to worry about what other people think.
Well, I don't really worry.
Slavia laughed. The conversation seemed to be leading me far astray from where I wanted to go.
And you're worried yourself.
Really? Why do you say so?
Well, when someone is chewing so intensely.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I couldn't bring myself to be more cautious around this girl. But why her in particular? Why not any other local inhabitant? Every one of them looked completely normal to me. Precisely, normal. So normal, it sends it chills down my spine and into the marrow. Normal, not like a neighbour with a power drill in one hand and a subwoofer in the other. Not like a passenger you can often meet in a subway or public transport. Not like a co-worker at the next table in an open plan office. And not even like a friend who only differs from other humans in his constant insistence. All of them look normal, as I would expect them to be, with their own downsides, but without any superpowers. And Slavia was also cute. I glanced at her stealthily, not knowing what to say.
So I'm sorry. I wanted to show you the camp, but I was ran off my feet.
I didn't miss anything while on my own, I guess.
Are you sure you haven't missed anything at all?
She smiled so brightly that I had to drop my eyes in confusion. Well, how would I know? It's my first day here.
Okay, and what have you seen so far?
I've seen the square, the canteen, the football field.
And what about the beach?
Just from afar.
You really should go there, or let's do it together.
Yeah? Okay, we will. Her naturalness started to scare me, but then I thought, what if everything that happens here is how it's supposed to be? In this world looks strange only to me for a while. For them, it's normal. Maybe I was thrown into the past. Yes, that would explain a lot. Can I ask a stupid question?
No.
No. Slavia smiled, stood up from the table.
It's
3
late.
straight nods.
I know. It's late. Can you find the way to Olga Dmitrievna's by yourself?
Of course I can. But why should I go there?
She'll settle you with someone.
What for? Probably this question seems stupid because Slavia burst into good-natured laughter.
You need to sleep somewhere, right?
That makes sense.
Fine, I'll be off then. Good night.
Night. It's strange that she left in such a hurry. Bundle of keys left in the door caught my attention. I was going to catch up with Slavia, but where does she live? And knocking on every door in the middle of the night doesn't sound like a bright idea.
Take the keys or leave it.
Take the keys.
Alright.
I'd rather take them. I'll give them back tomorrow. Who knows what happens here at night? Such thoughts gave me chills. It's who needs to be careful in the first place. The night, through dark, wasn't silent at all. One could hear chirping crickets, the song of the night birds, and rustling trees from everywhere. And a sudden desire to follow Slavia's advice, go to camp leader cabin appeared. I don't know why, but the sight of the unknown bronze builder of communism put me in a constructive mood. I sat on a bench and started to recall everything that happened today. That was my constructive mood, all my constructive mood could offer. Here was much brighter than near the canteen. Tardy pioneers were running by, so this place didn't seem scary at all. Bus, summer, camp girl, bus, summer camp, girls. Don't forget the guy.
The single guy.
The singular guy.
Yes.
I was so tired from everything new and strange that I could not come up with a single explanation for what was going on. I heard a barely noticeable rustle nearby. I shivered and looked in that direction. A girl. Reading a book. Lena? I decided to move closer and talk. Oh, another fucking banger of a song from the soundtrack.
Ooh.
She was the only one. Oh, hi. What are you reading?
Lena was so surprised that she even jumped.
Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Never mind.
She blushed. Said, look again. So, what are you reading? On the cover was written, Gone with the Wind. Praise the book. Praise the book.
Praise the book. Thanks.
A good book. Honestly speaking, I haven't read it, but I think such literature suits her very well. Lane didn't seem to be interested in continuing the conversation. Well, if I'm bothering you.
No.
Another flat no.
The fourth flat no.
Can I sit beside you for a while?
Why?
And really, why? Maybe just because I was tired and having company is better than being alone. And maybe I wanted to try find something out from her. I carefully examined Lena. But no, I doubt that. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I'm not allowed to? Question mark.
Feel free.
if I'm bothering you.
No, you're not.
I can leave. Just say.
Everything is alright.
Okay then. I sat at the end of the bench carefully. After such an intense talk, staying here was the last thing I wanted, but it wouldn't be nice just to stand up and leave. That didn't really go well, huh? Lena hasn't answered anything. It seems I made a fool out of myself. I bet Uliana was here, she'd have a good laugh at me. Do you enjoy being here? I recalled Slavia's question and thought it would be a good start for the conversation.
Yes.
That's a flat yes, it's better than a flat no.
I know, after all those no's.
She smiled slightly. I guess I like it too. Lena definitely isn't very sociable, and probably can't carry on a meaningless conversation as easy as Slavia. But there was something about her that attracted attention. Like a momentary glimpse of a reflection in the glass of a rainy autumn evening, which makes you turn around and stare into the darkness, searching for something that you saw out of the corner of your eye. Of course, you weren't able to distinguish anything or understand what it was, but you still felt tempting. Lena was still reading the book, without paying any attention to my presence. And I had no intention of asking her anything about the camp or the world in general. Beautiful night.
Yes.
How in a world would you start a conversation with her?
It's late. I have to go.
Yes, it's quite late.
Good night.
Night. There's something strange about this girl. At first glance, she's a little shy, modest pioneer girl, but the mystery of Lena took its own place in a massive list of mysteries about the camp, which I'd started to put together in my head. A lazy evening. There's nothing like a good time with nothing to do. I headed towards Olga Dimitrievna's cabin. The light in the house was on.
Hello, Semyon. You're quite late.
Yeah. I went for a walk around the camp.
Alright. You will be sleeping here.
She pointed a finger at one of the beds. Right here? I was a bit surprised.
Yes. Is there something wrong? We are out of free cabins anyway.
The camp leader smiled, but I rather think it was out of politeness.
You do want to be a decent pioneer, don't you?
There was a clear emphasis on the word decent. Yep, sure. I was lost in thought for a moment. This line is horrific.
Ah.
Don't you mind it, mademoiselle?
Oh boy.
She looked at me oddly, with a surprise and some offence in her eyes.
A pioneer should respect their elders.
Oh, Olga said strictly. Of course he should. No one argues with that. I blathered, not realizing what was wrong.
Shouldn't you also...
She stared at me. Under such a gaze, even Mithril forged by the best dwarf masters from the deepest dungeons would melt. Should I what?
Oh no!
Oh no! What the peach?
Ah!
This is horrific.
Holy
No.
shit! Holy shit, this is bad.
This
Wha-
is horrific.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
I feel the cringe from this.
Ooh.
I did change the line, so. I'm scared for what's next.
Alright.
Annoyance and lack of understanding made me raise my voice.
You must address adults appropriately.
Yes, of course, there are a lot of strange things here. This girl's just a couple of years older than me. No. Or maybe even younger. This man has de-aged. But I decided not to argue, just with her. While a few minutes ago, I would never have called her an adult. I have to admit, she was also given a strong character. In any case, I wasn't in a position to argue. Cheers, Jan.
Ah!
As you say, Mom. I mumbled.
That's much better. That is how a decent pioneer should conduct himself. And now it's time to sleep.
Honestly speaking, I'm gonna become neither nor decent, nor an indecent pioneer. Just yesterday, I wasn't going to become a pioneer at all. But do I have the choice now? No, you fucking don't.
No.
If you don't want to, we'll have to make you. This is the motto Olga was probably going to use. Here is where we leave it for my video as well.
Yep. So I guess just save and...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, right click. Oh, this is...
And I think we're gonna stop it from here?
Yeah, we are.
Okay.